Switzerland beat Italy today. Scratch that. Switzerland dominated Italy today. Switzerland wiped the floor of Italy today. Switzerland outclassed Italy today. That was hardly a contest. Honestly, when we talk about like most dominant performances in the tournament so far, I think we just watched one of them today. And funnily enough, the other one that we watched was Spain versus Italy. And I think the saddest thing is, it's not even like really a shock that a nation like Switzerland is basically dog walking Italy. I predicted it to happen. I predicted Switzerland to beat Italy today. But I don't think I just don't think it should be right that I'm that confident in it happening. And it happened, and we just go on with our lives. Like, is this really what Italy has become now? A team that at these tournaments just kind of like crawls out and no one even blinks an eye. Ladies and gentlemen, I decided to kind of take some notes today after the game, did my research, and come to you guys with some startling evidence about Italy. Now, Italy, when I think about Italy in football, I think of one of the biggest powerhouses in the game. Obviously, Brazil sits at their own table. Like in every sport, you always got a top dog. In basketball, you got the Celtics and Lakers. In tennis, you got the big three. In football, you got Brazil. They're at the top. Underneath them, though, I've always said you got Germany and Italy right there. Throughout like the history of football, those two have kind of always been in semifinals, in finals, or even winning competitions. Just kind of what I said about Germany in terms of like they always end up at going far into these tournaments, winning them, producing brilliant players. That's always been Italy until the last 10, 15 years. As we know, guys, Italy won the World Cup in 2006. That's the last World Cup they won. Beating France in the final, somewhat dubiously, you could say. Justice for Zidane. I won't get into that. But they were brilliant that tournament. And you look at the players that they produced and the players that starred at that tournament. Cannavaro won the Ballon d'Or off that tournament. Buffon was exemplary. Andrea Pirlo, we talked about it last stream. I thought he might have been the best player at the tournament. You had an attack that alternated between Totti, Del Piero, Luca Toni, Gilardino, Iaquinta, Inzaghi. The midfield, Pirlo was anchored by De Rossi, Gattuso, Perotta, like brilliant players. Zambrotta, Grosso. The team is amazing. Marcelo Lippi is the coach. The team is amazing. And the final was like a fitting end to that generation because you never saw Del Piero at another World Cup. You never saw Totti at another World Cup. You never saw Cannavaro. Oh, you did, but for the most part, that was the peak for them. That World Cup in 2006, the final. What might startle you guys to know is that Italy have not won a knockout game at a World Cup since that final. Since the World Cup final in 2006. That's almost 20 years ago. Italy have not won a knockout game at a World Cup since. And in fact, they haven't even played in one. Are you guys listening to the words I'm saying right now? Italy have not played in a knockout game at a World Cup since 2006. This is supposed to be one of the biggest countries, footballing-wise, on the planet. As far as I'm concerned, only Brazil tops them. Talk about a fall from grace. The 2006 World Cup, they won it. The 2008 Euro, they were knocked out at the first knockout stage against Spain, and they got destroyed by the Netherlands in the group stage. The 2010 World Cup, faced against the likes of New Zealand, Paraguay, and Slovakia, Italy finished bottom of that group without winning a game. That's right, they couldn't beat Slovakia, they couldn't beat Paraguay, and they couldn't beat New Zealand. It is to this day, in my opinion, the most embarrassing defense of a World Cup champion I've ever seen. And I've seen Spain since then. I've seen Germany since then. That to this day remains the most embarrassing defense of a World Cup that I've seen in my life. The 2012 Euro, they momentarily made a slight remontada. They went to the final. And to be fair, they were very impressive in that final, but they got destroyed in the final. So with that group, Balotelli, Pirlo, the back three of Chiellini, Barzagli, and Bonucci that we're starting to see, they go into the World Cup in 2014 with some hope. Ladies and gentlemen, they got eliminated in the group stage to Costa Rica, Uruguay, and England. Couldn't get out of that group. Disaster. 2 World Cups in a row that they couldn't get out of a group. We then carry on to the 2016 Euro. One of the worst group of players that I have ever seen Italy bring to a tournament. We're talking Graziano Pelle and Eder up front. We're talking little Giaccherini of Sunderland in midfield. To be fair, they made it to the quarterfinal. They made it to the quarterfinal. They beat Spain in the round of 16. Spain were going through their own little mini crisis at the time. In the quarterfinal, they lost. We then get to the 2018 World Cup. You might ask, where did they finish this time? Like I said, they haven't won a knockout ground since then. So what? Did they lose in the round of 16? Maybe they didn't make it out of the group stage again. They didn't even make it to the 2018 World Cup. Italy did not qualify for the 2018 World Cup. We then take it to Euro 2020. And to be fair, you might be seeing a pattern here. Horror tournament followed up by a remontada. Euro 2020, or Euro 2021 if you want to call it that because of COVID, Italy actually won the whole damn thing. They won the whole damn thing. They were actually quite impressive too. Jorginho, Barella, Verratti ran the show. The back three, their last dance, they won the whole thing. Could you argue that England completely threw that final away? Possibly, but they won the thing. They deserve credit. So damn, they should be a threat for the next World Cup, which is only a year later, right? Only a year in between winning the Euros. They should be a threat at the World Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, Italy did not even qualify for a World Cup a year later. So Italy went back-to-back World Cups without qualifying for the tournament. Italy, the team with 4 World Cup stars on their emblem, didn't qualify back-to-back times. They lost to Macedonia, to North Macedonia. Let me read you the population of North Macedonia real quickly. North Macedonia's population is 2 million. Italy's is 59 million, nearly 60. Let's say 60 million people. They're 30 times the size in terms of population of North Macedonia. Footballing heritage, footballing history-wise, they should blow them out the water. That's who they couldn't make the World Cup over. The only person I've ever heard of from North Macedonia is Goran Pandev, and they stopped Italy from going to a second successive World Cup. And then you get to this tournament, and you look at the team that they've brought on, and you look at the manager, and it's just like, damn, man, what the hell has happened to Italy? What the hell has happened to Italy? I was thinking about this before the stream, right? While me and Cam were watching the Germany game. I was really like racking my brain up and thinking to myself, has a country of this size ever gone through a walk in the desert this long? From 2006 to 2024, has a team of this, a country of this stature, footballing wise, ever gone through this barren a run? And you might point out the Euro victory that they had, but ladies and gentlemen, I'm growing very scared now that was almost like a blip. It was just a fluke. It might have just been a fluke, guys. It's an outlier. I'm trying to think, honestly. Brazil, between 2002 and now, they've been disappointing, but more so for their standards. In the grand scheme of things, they've made every World Cup. They've gone to a final, or they've gone to a semifinal, since 2002. They've won Copa America a few times. They're still a presence at these tournaments. They're still producing world-class players. Who's the last world-class player Italy produced? The last truly world-class player Italy produced. Rack your brain up for it. I'll even give you the last world-class talent that they produced. Is it Marco Verratti? Before that, is it maybe Mario Balotelli? In terms of talent? Is it Bonucci? Like, you're really hard-pressed to find the last world-class, like elite-level player that Italy have produced. I'm seeing guys say Donnarumma. Donnarumma's a good goalkeeper. Is he in the top 5 goalkeepers in the world right now? That's debatable. So it's definitely not Brazil. Brazil, we mocked them since 2002. They're clear of Italy. Don't even chat to them. It's not Argentina. They've made 2 World Cup finals in the last decade. It's not Germany. Germany's barren run hasn't gone that long. The Netherlands, I mean, look, they haven't won anything since '88. They never won the World Cup. And they're in a mini barren run of themselves too, because they went a World Cup and a Euro without qualifying. But I still don't think they've been as much of a laughing stock as Italy have. And let's be real, Netherlands are not as big as Italy. Is it England? England are up there. They're their competition. Me and Cam were talking about this earlier. England, are England in general the biggest laughing stock of all the major nations in footballing history? So they're in there. I still don't think any of this is comparable to Italy since 2006. My God, man. And I think the scariest part about all of this is like how normalized this is becoming. No one seems bothered that Italy are all of a sudden irrelevant in the footballing scheme now. Because I feel like if Brazil missed the World Cup, boy, we wouldn't stop talking about it. If Brazil lost and exited a tournament the way that Italy just lost today, I don't think anyone would stop talking about it. The fact Italy just got destroyed by Switzerland today, they barely even laid a glove on Switzerland. And we're all kind of just laying back and saying, yeah, expected it. Yeah, Italy aren't that good. Like, yeah, on to the next. It's kind of disturbing for me. I can't lie. It's kind of disturbing thinking about what Italy have kind of become. I started watching football around 2006. World Cup 2006 was my first tournament I ever watched. So I saw Italy be great that tournament. Since then, they've been a laughing stock. So truthfully, in my footballing life, I have never really seen Italy be great. Guys, that's 18 years. That's spooky. 18 years in the wilderness. That's very, very spooky. And just look at their team now, man. Honestly, I'm looking at some of the players in that Italian team, man. Oh my God. And I don't even want to blame the players too much because we came into this tournament thinking that Italy didn't have a great side. It's a weaker team than the one that just won the Euros 3 years ago. But Spalletti as well too. Oh my God. Talk about a manager who not once in this tournament managed to kind of get his hands on this group of players and mold them in the way he wanted to mold them. Oh, talk about a manager that's failed this tournament. So bad. I think it's so blatantly obvious that this Italian group is tailor-made to play 3-5-2. The profiles are there. The experience in those formations are there. We just saw Inter be the best team in Serie A for the last few years, master the 3-5-2. Juve, most of those players have played in a 3. Italy won the Euros 3 years ago playing in a 3. It was a 3. No, that was a 4 actually, to be fair. Ignore that. But these guys know how to play in a 3. Watching them try to build up in a 4 today was pathetic. Genuinely, Italy could not string 3 passes out of the back consecutively without Switzerland pressing them and winning the ball back. The only way they could get out was playing it long to Chiesa in the channels and hoping he'd create something. And boy, Chiesa, 3 years makes a difference, man. You lit up Euro 2021. This tournament, it's like a shadow of the same player. He took a shot today towards the end of the game, kind of drifting in from the right, trying to fire one off his left. And I just remember Euro 2021. Those strikes of his against Austria, against Spain, daggers. His shot today went out for a throw-in. That sums up Italy in this game, and it sums up Italy in this tournament. Toothless, man. Toothless. I think you could have called up Verratti and Locatelli, who, let's be real, aren't the same players they were 3 years ago, and they would have been a much better team. They would have been a much, much better team. And I see someone saying here, they'll be back. I'm confident they'll be back. I'm not sure they will. Because, guys, at the end of the day, we talk about tactics, we talk about style, we talk about profiling, we talk about structure, but player quality is the be-all, end-all. You can have all the structure in the world, but if you don't have the best players or great players, what are you going to do? And the way Italy have been producing players now for the last 10, 15 years, there is no clear indication that Italy will be back. I think they have massively fallen off the curve in terms of producing elite talent. I think the likes of France are now producing better talent. I think the likes of Brazil continuously produce better talent. Portugal have overlapped them in that sense. Damn it, England are producing better players than Italy. I think Italy have fallen off a cliff in terms of producing the best players in the world. And that was unthinkable 15, 20 years ago. You look at the squads that they were bringing to these tournaments, and they were littered with the best players in the world. Now, is that an indictment of how bad Serie A has fallen off? Maybe. But I think it's also the way players are getting quicker, stronger, faster. You're seeing even the worst players now have at least a decent platform of technical ability. Italy, bro, look miles off of it. Miles off of it, man.